Next, let's look at the population in the Arabian Peninsula. Amongst all the countries combined, there are about 80 million people. Do you recall in India there were 1.3 billion people? The land area, the square miles of India and the Arabian Peninsula are about the same. Obviously, the Arabian Peninsula has a much less densely populated landscape. Part of the reason for this is because the Arabian Peninsula is arid. It's a very dry place. This limits agriculture and it limits population. Nevertheless, that area has reached and significantly exceeded its carrying capacity. Carrying capacity is the number of people that can be supported on the land with agriculture. Just like throughout much of the rest of the world, there has been over the last 50 or 60, 70 or so years, a massive rural to urban migration in the Arabian Peninsula. Nevertheless, there are people who still practice a very traditional lifestyle there. These people are nomads. This is the way most people lived in the Arabian Peninsula, let's say 100 years ago. Nomads are people who move from place to place. In the West, oftentimes we say they don't have a permanent home. I've been around them and spoke to them. Their attitude is, we have a home, it's just a mobile home. The people who do this in most of the Middle East are known as Bedouins. Bedouins are nomadic Arabs. They practice something called transhumance, which is moving animals from place to place to take advantage of pasture land. Of course, in a landscape that's as dry as the Middle East, you have to choose your animals wisely. Primarily, this is sheep and goats, and of course, along with camels. What they feed their animals on is called xerophytic vegetation. Look at that beautiful word. This is a Greek word. It means dry life. Xerophytic vegetation, therefore, is vegetation that is adapted to living in dry conditions. These are some Bedouins I met when I was in Syria. If you take a look along the ridge in the background, you can see that there are some permanent structures back there. I asked them about these. What they told me was that the Syrian government would build those because they wanted them to live in those places. But they don't want to live in those. They want to live in their tents. That's their lifestyle. And that allows them to move from place to place with their animals. What they would do is they would store things in those structures, and then when they came back the following year, those things would still be there and they wouldn't have to carry them around. No one steals there. If somebody comes along and they want to use the things they have stored there, they just use them and put them back. They invited me inside. The Bedouins are very hospitable people because they rely on the goodwill of other people. They provide goodwill to other people. And unlike many other parts of the Middle East, including in places where Bedouins are wandering around in very conservative societies, they cannot just take the women and set them aside. And so the women are part of the society. They play an important role in the society. And you can see in the background, there's a woman in this photograph. They brought me in. They gave me coffee. They made me smoke some weird thing. I don't even know what it was. They all laughed at me because I don't smoke. And so I choked on it. Gave me a little bit to eat and then sent me on my way. Very friendly, very nice, very helpful, very hospitable. That's who they are culturally. These are xerophytes. Xerophytes are these dry, adapted vegetation types. This is what they would feed their animals on. Sheep and goats are very unusual animals. They can eat almost anything and then turn that into meat and bones and blood and fur and milk.